So this is where your page 35 should start. We're looking at restricting the domain. We've talked about this before. This is 100% review, which is one of the reasons I felt comfortable skipping this in class. The inverse notation for f of x equals x squared is going to have a restricted domain. We have to figure out what that restricted domain is. And we've done this already. We know that when we graph this, we're going to get a parabola. When we graph the inverse, our inverse is going to have a sideways parabola, which is no longer a function. So we're going to have to get rid of the bottom side of our parabola, which means we have to get rid of all of our negative numbers in our domain. So we can start at 0 because 0 isn't negative, and we can go all the way to infinity. We want to find a domain on which the function is 1-to-1 and non-decreasing on x minus 6 squared. So I'm going to pull up Desmos, and I'm going to type in x minus 6 squared. Sorry if this is a little loud. And there is our x minus 6 squared. Our domain is going to start where it is non-decreasing. That sounds like gobbledygook, but what that means is we're going to start at what is called the vertex, the very point, the end point of the parabola, in this case the lowest point. So our domain is going to start at 6 because our vertex starts at 6. Our x value is 6. And then it goes all the way to infinity. So that's how we find our domain. Looking at the vertex, they want it when it's only increasing. So this guy is going to go from 6 to infinity. Soft bracket. Finding inverses. Let f of x equal x plus 4 squared with a restricted domain, -4 to infinity. Sketch a graph using technology to determine if it's 1-to-1. So I'm going to turn my -6 into a +4. And here is our parabola. Now it says our domain is going to start at -4. So we're only looking at the right side of the parabola. So let's go ahead and draw this. I'll do the best I can. It's not going to be pretty. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to go through here, here, 1, 2, 3. This is kind of what our parabola is going to look like. And we can see that it is 1-to-1 because it passes the vertical line test because of the restricted domain. I'm going to go a little bit into page 36 just because it ties into 35. If f is a 1-to-1 function, we want to find the inverse and sketch a graph of the inverse using technology. So f of x equals x plus 4 squared. So y equals x plus 4 squared. Now we're going to switch our x and our y. And solve for y. So we're going to have to take the square root of both sides. And then subtract 4 from both sides. Written in inverse notation, the inverse of f of x is equal to the square root of x minus 4. Make sure that minus 4 is on the outside. So we'll go ahead and graph this. Square root of x minus 4. If you want to do a shortcut to find the square root, it's sqrt of x. Arrow out of there, and then it'll be a minus 4. And here's what it looks like. It's a half of parabola starting at -4 going sideways. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's going sideways. 1, 2, 3. there's our parabola.